Hello, viewers, and namaste to our special series called Born in the USA, America at 250. And once again, we are really happy and honored to have Nathan Singh with us to tell us what he thinks about this momentous occasion. So, thank you, Nate, for joining us and welcome once again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
What do you think about Indo American relations? Now, you yourself symbolize it. You know,
Mhm.
you're both American and Indian in a manner of
Mhm.
speaking. Largest democracy. India is more than 1.45 billion. You know, it's the most populous country in the world. So, what are
Mhm.
your thoughts about the future or, the possibilities of Indo US ties going forward?
I really don't know much about political ties between them, but know it, but based on like a social and cultural level, I hope that they expand in the future. I definitely would love to see a bigger embrace of Indian heritage in the US. And I mean, obviously, I'd love to see Indians like embrace American culture and what it is to be an American. I would love to see that in the future. I mean, obviously, growing up with that, I'm very familiar with all of the cultural stuff we do, and I'd love to share that with like people here. I think it's very beautiful, and think people would really enjoy it. So, yeah, I would definitely say that.
Yeah, yeah. We'll leave the politics, the geostrategic, whatever shenanigans to the people up there who are doing it, whether it's Washington, D.C. or Delhi or whatever. But as you said, the culture, Nate, Indian Americans today are, though a very small percentage, about 1%, between 1 and 2%, so maybe about 5 million, we don't know exact numbers, but they're still a very important minority, as you know. In fact, there are, some figures which suggest they're the most prosperous minority. They've overtaken even Jewish Americans. Though, of course, I take all these statistics with a pinch of salt, and it all depends on
Right.
who you're exactly. But even so, they're a sizable or a significant, at least, if not sizable, minority. You know that a person of Indian origin actually stood for president last time. You know that, uh,
Mhm.
and so. And a person of Indian origin heads the FBI just now, and the
Mhm.
president's wife, the current vice president's wife, is Indian. There
Mhm.
was an Indian U.S. presidential candidate even on the Republican side, as you know.
Yeah.
So it is a minority which is getting more and more visible. U.S. Apart from the Indo-U.S. ties at the bigger level, at country to country level.
Definitely very proud of my culture for getting visible. Finally, I think it's very exciting. I mean, you can disagree or you can agree with them, but I think it's very exciting to see people from where you come from finally getting to where they have aspired to be or places of such high prosperity. So I think it's very beautiful, and I'm excited to see more Indian culture expand here in the US. A lot of great actresses and actors who are of Indian heritage are also getting out there, and I seeing them out on social media. It's very cool, and I'm very proud of them. So yeah, I would just say it just makes me excited for like the future and to see more people who look like me and are similar to me like get out there.
Correct, correct. Now, you know that yoga is widely practiced in the US. In fact, there's almost 10-12% of Americans do some form of yoga, which maybe is more than people in India. So that spread. Food you were talking about. What Indian dish do you think is popular in the US apart from samosas? What is your favorite Indian dish and which is easily available?
My favorite, I don't. I would say that the butter chicken is definitely the most popular thing here, like
The butter chicken. Okay.
butter chicken and naan. I would say that's definitely one of my favorites. I love that. I love pakora, or I didn't even say that right, but I like those two. I like any sort of uh lamb. I don't know the Indian name for it, but it's usually
Yeah,
very
mutton. They call it mutton in
that's it. Yeah,
English, but
I
they, yeah.
I like spicy foods. I like vindaloo, but most of all, I mean, I think butter chicken is just my favorite. I think it tastes the best, and
True,
yeah.
true. But I mean, apart from yourself and your personal tastes, if you want to recommend, let's say you have a
Mm.
friend, from school, like you want to
Yeah.
recommend an Indian dish, what would you recommend?
I'd probably recommend the basics like chana masala or aloo, just to get a feel for what it's like because Indian spices are a lot different than what people would really. I don't know if people are sensitive to it, but those two things I would recommend, and then like naans or maybe chicken tikka masala, something simple.
Right. What did they say? Oh gosh, it's so spicy. My mouth is burning. Then what are you going to say?
Yeah. Oh, I would just say get a glass of milk.
Well, some Mexican food is also spicy, You have cayenne pepper and you have some of these sauces are really, the habaneros and all can be very spicy too. So lots of people in the US, I think, enjoy spicy food. They like different cuisines. America is very open to, say, Greek, Italian, Mexican, and many other cuisines, right? So Indian cuisine is also now a part of the, larger American,
People love it. I mean, I brought it to a friend's giving last year, and I was talking about how our family friend makes this really good curry chicken and naan, and my friends were like, "Please bring it," and they loved it.
that's great.
People really love like butter chicken and curry and everything here, and it makes me happy when I share it with my friends and they really like it.
Like you mentioned, film actors and Hollywood and all that. But what about Bollywood? Have you ever watched any movies, Indian movies?
At my cousin's house, my aunt usually is playing a Bollywood movie. Obviously, she's not in India still, but she definitely watches that stuff because that's what she grew up with. I don't really watch them, and I think they're really funny. I like looking at them because I think that some of the storylines are kind of like outrageous, but I think it's very cool, and I would like to see like some Bollywood stuff in English if possible because I can't obviously understand what they're saying, but I haven't really watched much of it, but it's funny. I like it. I like seeing it from time to time.
Yeah, there's some crossover actors as well. Like Priyanka Chopra is quite famous.
Mhm.
She's acted in a number of Netflix and other movie type things. But what about music? Have you ever tried to listen to Indian music? Not just the Bollywood kind of music, but the more serious, the so-called classical music.
I think the classical stuff is very beautiful. I don't really listen to it that often, but um I would definitely be interested in listening to more artists if there's any you recommend.
Yes. Oh, there's enormous, different kinds. Ravi Shankar used to be very popular at one time because of the Beatles. They
Mm,
and Maharishi Mahesh Yogi and so forth made him quite hip at a certain time. And if you ever go back and listen to music of the late 60s and 70s, you do see Indian instruments coming in, in Norwegian wood, if you listen to that Beatles song.
mm.
Uh, what about, the so-called cliche of Indian spirituality? Now, I know your your dad is deeply interested in the Vedas and the Gita. Have you
Mhm.
had any exposure to so-called Indian spirituality? I say so-called because everything is spiritual in India, in a
Yes,
manner of speaking.
definitely. I'm very into it too, like consciousness and the concept of like manifestation and stuff. I'm very into that. I think it's honestly like a lifestyle at this point, all of that stuff. And I could honestly talk about it for hours, like the importance of like self-belief and consciousness and the power in like the words you say and how you live and like how you feel and what you embody. I think that's very, very important. And I'm very happy that I mean like I see a lot of people who are coaches and stuff they talk about it, but I like, especially being Indian and having my heritage from there, all of these concepts come from there. So it's very cool to see how, like, influential this stuff is and see people from America talk about it when this is, like, my home kind of, and, how, like, I think for how long India has been around, like, and the all the knowledge they have, especially, like, it's really cool to see the recognition that like they get for these type of things. But yeah, I mean, I used to think for a while like I didn't really understand what my dad was saying, but I I do understand. And also I really like astrology. I like learning about like that kind of stuff and knowing how my I was talking to my dad about it, like how scarily accurate like Vedic astrologers are. It's very interesting and like knowing how long they've been around and like these concepts have been around. It's honestly kind of scary to think about.
Well, did you have any encounters with such people when you were in India? Did anyone tell you your future or whatever?
No, I wish I got to meet one of them. That would have been so cool. I mean, obviously I wouldn't. I think that despite astrology, I think you can always free will can overtake it. So it's not like I would take it.
Exactly. It's a
I would
help. It's a help. It's
I
not a
think, yeah, it's like
determining
a
thing.
guide, for your life and what you can kind of expect. But I think it would be really cool. Like, I just wanna hear what they have to say about what my life would look like. But at the end of the day, I choose how I want it to go.
True, true. At least in India, traditionally, it's an aid. Like they tell you, okay, you're going to get this challenge, and then they also help you to deal with it. Because, life is full of challenges. It's not a bed of roses, but at the same time, it's not a crown of thorns either, right? And I'm so glad you said that you get it, what your dad says. It's in the heart, it's not all in the mind. And I also liked how you said that Indian spirituality is not about beliefs, whether you believe in this or that, or you have some set of tenets, but it's really about consciousness, right? It's about transforming, your life, and it's an integral thing. It's not just a piecemeal thing. So I really liked what you said there, and it's about awareness. It's about experiencing things. It's not just about adhering to some fixed, set of dogmas, and then it's not that at all. So it's hard for most people, especially in the West, to understand, because I remember when I was younger and I was studying here, people would say, "Oh, you're Hindu. Okay, what do you guys believe in?" And I said, "Well, it's not about what you believe, but what
Mhm,
you've experienced that matters. I can believe in anything. Fundamentally, it depends on who I was, who raised me, where I was born.
mhm.
But what have I experienced? What have I learned? That's who I am. Anyhow, so I'm glad you're seeing it that way. Now, I also wanted to ask you, like, as a kind of Indo-American or Indian American or an American of Indian, descent or whatever, have you faced any special difficulties like, in school, people making fun or passing some comments, or not really?
I definitely say like not not extremely. I think where I'm from, you kind of just poke fun at yourself, and I think where I'm from, especially, there's so many cultures here. There's so many different like groups that everybody kind of just pokes fun at each other, and I think it's kind of cool that people can embrace their flaws or kind of break out of the stereotypes. Like, obviously, being Indian, there's a bunch of stereotypes, and that's what people kind of poke fun at. But I think it's kind of funny how we can all, like, especially being friendly with each other, we can just poke fun at those and we can break out of them, and we don't have to adhere to any sort of box that people want to put us in. I think growing up, maybe occasionally, but it was never to like any harm. It was always just to have fun, just make fun of each other in a like polite way.
Yeah, you're right. The at least the sitcoms and TV shows always stereotype Indians. Either they're techies, nerdy techies, or they're doctors, usually with a funny accent. So true.
Mhm.
But anyhow, being techies and doctors isn't bad. I mean, there's so many Indian doctors, as you know.
Oh
You
yeah,
go to any,
they're all Indian.
they're mostly exactly, including at the national level, people running the NIH and, all of those. very high
I think I'm
positions.
I think I'm lucky to, like, not really have experienced anything bad. I definitely would say that my personal experience is not like everybody else's. I haven't faced the worst with that, but I would say that I've never really had any anything that made me feel bad about myself or hate where I'm from.
That's great to hear. And anyhow, now, you have the tools to handle it, with firmness and politeness. There's a way to handle, because it really reflects the limitations, even narrow-mindedness of other people, not your own, experience of embracing the world and the dual cultures. So thank you, Nathan, so much for joining us, and hope that you can come once again on another occasion, and really, let us know your thoughts on a variety of topics. So
Mhm.
thanks so much. If you have any last words, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you for having me. This was very insightful. I'm glad I got to talk about my experience as an Indian American. Thank you for having me. This is very cool.
Thank you. Thank you, Nate, and wish you all the best. Have a great future ahead of you, I know. And of course, it's a happy occasion that we are talking about, born in the USA, America at 250. Viewers, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel and join us soon. Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Namaste.
Namaste.